Okay, so make sure you have your calculators out, cell phones completely away. I'll let you know you guys can get them back out again. What'd you say? What'd you say? All right, so we did introductions. Is that my phone? Make sure your phones are on silent. All right, so let's get to work. All right, so you guys know this. What does this graph say? 4, okay, let's start. 4 what? What is it? Okay. So x is less than 4. Okay, we know it's less than because we have an open circle. It's going, my arrow is going to the left. So x is less than 4. Okay? Alright, set builder notation. This part is very important to Algebra 2. What this means is the set of, do you guys hear that noise? Is it next door? Alright, the set of all x's such that x is greater than 4. If you don't have room, you can just write above or below it. That's what those brackets mean. Yes. Huh? Okay, so you see on your, to open up the first page, flip again, there we go. Sorry about that. Flip more. Alright, so the set of all x's such that x is greater than 4. Are we all in the right place? Okay. We will be doing set builder notation a lot this first week. All good? Yeah, can you cut it down? Alright. Alright, so interval notation. The interval of numbers that work for a given set. Number 1 says to write the first number of the interval and the last number of the interval. You're going to use either brackets or parentheses around the edges. So, based on the example we just had that said x is greater than 4, to include a number in the interval, aka what numbers are greater than 4? 5, 6, 7. Easy enough. Those are examples. To include them, we are going to use brackets. To not include a number in the interval, aka like 1, 2, 3, or 0, we are going to use parentheses. So, some other rules that are very important. To include two intervals, you are going to use a U between them. That U means union, which is also kind of like and. And we'll get to that, I think, on the back side. All right, for negative infinity and positive infinity, will always, 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 always use parentheses. You up? The sideways 8. Most people just do this and they struggle, like 2 circles. Alright, so let's think about this. Why do you guys think that we always use parentheses with negative infinity and positive infinity? If I tell you to go to the store and get me an infinite amount of tomatoes, can you do that? No. So, remember how we said earlier, to include the number, we use brackets. To not include it is parentheses. So, we can never include infinity because I just can't get an infinite amount of anything. It's unlimited. Okay? All right, let's practice. Did I put that on there twice? Sorry, skip that. All right, so the first one says x is less than 1. How do I put that on the graph? What do I have, an open circle or a closed circle? Open. So let's go to number 1. We have an open circle. All right, well, I go to the left or the right? That's my arrow when I go to the left. I'm going to calibrate my board again for a second, so hold on. All right, so set builder notation. There's a system to set builder. All right, what I want to do first is I want to make my brackets. Those may be hard for you to make, just make squiggly lines if you have to. My left one's always good, my right one is always bad. Okay, so that's step 1, right? Put the brackets. Not brackets, braces. Keep messing up. These are called brackets. All right, so then I'm gonna put my x. So that means x such that, because that's the variable that we're talking about. And they gave us an x to start, that's what we're doing. All right, in that little space there is our inequality. I'm just gonna copy it right over. So x is less than 1. That is set builder notation. I like to think of it like in 3 different pieces. You got your braces, you got your x such that, and you plug in your inequality. Okay? Interval notation. For interval notation, we are going to read the graph. And we just go right back to the graph. So, we always go left or right. If this arrow is going this way, I'm going towards what? If I keep going on and on and on and on, I'm going towards negative infinity. And where's my graph starting? Sorry, negative infinity to what? To 1. Right? That's step 1. Step 2 is to put our brackets and our parentheses. Negative infinity always gets a what? Can I pick up negative infinity pencils? It gets a parentheses. That number is not included. What about 1? This is tricky. Is it an open circle or a closed circle? It's open, so that number is not included. So will it be a parentheses or a bracket? Parentheses. Perfect. All good so far? This is literally what we're doing all day. Eventually, we're going to get to where we apply this to graphs, and it's going to be like clockwork. Okay? I mean, I'm going to ask you guys what's interval notation, and you'll just be able to say, is this, 2 brackets, or 1 bracket, or whatever. All right, number 2. Open circle, closed circle. Close on what number? 3. My arrow is going to the left or the right? All right, my set builder notation. For set builder, I am going to break it down. My first step is to put my braces. 1, 2. Next, I need my X such that, or X in my bar, my line, whatever you want to call it. What goes in the open space? For inequality, we're just copying that straight down. X is less than or equal to 3. All right, this is where we have to make sure we're doing that interval notation, right? If I start from left to right, from left, I'm coming from where? If I keep going this way, negative infinity, and I'm stopping where? At 3. Negative infinity gets a parentheses or a bracket. Parentheses. 3 gets a what? Gets a bracket because it's closed. Okay? So because it's closed, it gets a bracket. All right, you guys try the third one. Third and fourth, naturally. Try it on your own. All right, let's do it. How do I read this third one? Nicole Payton.
You read it X such that X.
Hold on, it's just an inequality. Less than or greater than or what? So X is greater than 2, okay. Open circle to close, anybody? Open, which way is my arrow going, left or right?
Right.
All right, my set builder.
X
Braces.
greater than 2.
Oh, good job. X is greater than 2. All right, my interval notation, I'm going to read my graph. From left to right, where does my graph start?
2.
2, perfect, and it's going towards positive infinity, right, Bryce? Bryce, the 2 has a parentheses or a bracket? Parentheses because it's an open circle. And my infinity has a parentheses because I can't hold infinity. Did everyone get this right? Did you make 1 mistake, 2 mistakes? What did you get wrong, Jennifer?
I think you said
Okay. Okay, that's actually a common mistake where I see you guys like flip them. Always remember, Peyton, stay with me, my friend. Go left to right. Okay? Left to right. On your test, that wouldn't be completely wrong unless it was like a constant mistake over and over and over. But yeah, just try to remember that. All right, Samuel, the fourth one. How do I say this? Okay? Open or close? Left or right? All right. So we have our braces, and it's such that what goes in the middle? X is greater than or equal to 1. Interval notation. From left to right, where does my graph start? 1, it goes towards positive infinity. My 1 does it have a parentheses or a bracket? My infinity? Perfect. You guys get that? Bryce, you good? Chris? Anthony? Bianca? You got that? All right. All right, we're going to do the last 4, and then we're taking a break. Oh, man. right, do you guys want your break now, or do you want it for the back part? This is the you try, so you'll do this on your own. Let's just keep working. All right. All right, so for the first one, we have x is greater than -3. Okay? I'm not too picky on your number line. There's my -3. Will my circle be open or closed? Open, left or right? All right. My set builder, I write my braces first. What's next? Your x, your line, and what goes in the inside? X is greater than -3. From left to right, look at my graph. Where does my graph start? -3, and I'm going towards positive infinity. What are my parentheses and brackets like? On -3 is going to be a bracket or parentheses? Parentheses is an open circle. And what about on infinity? Parentheses. How do we do on that one? Good? Okay. Number 2, they kind of gave us a different blank. So I have, they gave me x is less than or equal to 0. I'm going to put that same little piece where? At the very top, that's my inequality. X is less than or equal to 0. We just copied it. All right, on my graph, there's 0, open or close, left or right. The arrow's going to the left. Are we understanding which way to go, left and right? Pretty good? All right. Interval notation. If I start from the far left, I'm coming from -infinity. I get to 0 and I stop. -infinity will have a parentheses. 0 will have a bracket because it's a closed circle. That number is included. All right, the third one, my inequality says x is less than or equal to 1/2. Open or closed? It's closed because it's or equal to. Do we understand why it's closed? Because of the extra line under here, or equal to. All right, so I go towards the left. My set builder, I have my braces. X such that, and then I just write my inequality. X is, oh, that's not right. Less than or equal to 1/2. All right, my interval notation. I'm coming from -infinity. I'm stopping at 1/2. -infinity gets a parentheses or a bracket. And what about 1/2? Bracket. This last one is kind of an insight of what we're going to do for the back page. So here we go. All right, so I have parentheses on -1. So I can put, let's call this -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. There's my number line. Well, you can do it however you want, as long as you have those two numbers. Those increments could be about 1, it could be about 0.5, it could be about 2, who knows? Okay, so because this has a parentheses on my -1, let me open or close circle. Will be an open circle. And what about the bracket on 3? It's going to be closed. Okay. Do you have a question, Samuel? was up here, what's up? All right, I'm going to draw a line in between both of them. All right, so that's a start. Okay, so what that says is, let's see what that do say. All right, so this is a and graph. We'll get to that in a second, but this is an and graph because my line, my inequality is connected in between. Okay, so I'm going to write my x in the middle, and x is going to be greater than -1, and x is less than 3. For and graphs, we always put the smallest number first, your biggest number last. And we read it from the middle. So from the middle, we're reading this as x is greater than -1, x is less than 3. Now that we have my inequality, I can make my set builder notation. I have my brackets, x such that, in the middle, I'm copying exactly what my inequality says. -1, sorry, x is greater than -1 or less than 3. And we'll get to more of that in a second. All right, let's take compound inequalities. Stay with me, my friends. Compound inequalities consist of two inequalities. This is on the back page, by the way. Two inequalities written in one expression. All right, and inequalities are typically, but not always, shaded in between the two numerical values. When we have an and inequality, we think about a sandwich. What word do you see in sandwich that reminds you of and? And. Did I spell that right? Is there an H in there somewhere? No, that's right, right?
There's no way.
Okay. It's been a long summer. All right, your or inequalities. Or inequalities are shaded on the outside. Of the two numerical values, or reminds me of opposite. And you can just think about the O's. Or opposite. All right. What does this graph say? Well, first of all, is it an or graph or an and graph? They're going opposite ways, right? Look at my arrows. With or. Because they're going opposite ways, it is an or graph. So we can basically just have two different inequalities. Okay? We can have x is less than, is that going to be open or closed? Sorry. Do I put a line under it or do I not? No, because it's open, right? So x is less than 7. Or x is greater than or equal to 11. That's what that says. Do we see the difference between the open and the closed circle? Alright. This is basically all your first quiz is going to be. You have a mini quiz in 2 classes. Alright, what does this graph say? And or? It's an and. It's sandwiched in between. Alright? My and graphs, I always start out like this. X is going to be greater. Well, you can put the signs the same way. That's okay. What goes on the left side? What's my smallest number? 0. What's my highest number on the graph? 3. Now let's get my signs. This one can stay the same, right? X is just less or greater than. Here, it's a closed circle, so I need a line under it. Any questions there? Okay. Remember with your and graphs to make your arrows go in the same direction, okay? Because we start reading it in the middle, but it says x is greater than 0, x is less than or equal to 3. So they look the same, but they're not. All right, we're not going to do all these together because some of this can be your classwork. Let's do the first one. We'll do first, second. Actually, I'll do the first 4. Your classwork will be the last 4. All right, so your inequality here. We have an or graph because it says or, right? It tells us. So I have a circle on my 1. It's going to be open or closed. On the 1, it's open, so the x is less than 1. And I go to the left. For my 3, it's going to be closed. And I'm going to the right. Okay? Set builder. We have my braces. We have X and my line. I'm just copying this entire inequality. No real thinking here. You may have to write it real small so you can fit it. I did not do that, but we're just copying it as you see it. All right, this part is going to be a little new. Your interval notation for or graphs. All right, from left to right, I'm coming from where? Nope. On and on and on and on. Negative infinity. And then my graph stops where? At 1. My negative infinity gets a what? Parentheses. My 1 gets a parentheses or bracket. Y is open. Parentheses. Alright? My graph isn't finished. I still have this little piece over here. So I'm going to put a U for union. That means and. So we're basically just skipping over this little part. Alright, so union, and then my graph starts again where? At 3. And it goes to where? It goes to infinity. Alright, my 3 has what on it? No, we're all here. Thank you. So my 3 has a bracket. My infinity has parentheses. Good job. Do we understand why our interval notation looks like that? Okay, remember your interval notation always matches with your graph. Read it from left to right. All right, your second inequality. Or graph or and graph? And, I like ands. Let's put 2 circles on 1 and on 3. My circle on 1, it says x is greater than or equal to 1 and less than 3. So 1 is going to have an open circle or closed circle. I heard both. Closed. What about my 3? Open, then I'm going to connect the 2. All right, my set voter notation. Braces, braces, X line. In the middle, I'm just copying my inequality. All right, interval notation. My graph is starting where? At 1, and it stops at 3. Does 1 have a bracket or parentheses? What about 3? Parentheses. The ands are a little bit easier to do interval notation. We're just reading the graph. All good so far? Okay, so for the third one, we have negative infinity. Sorry, x is greater than negative infinity and less than positive infinity. What we do here is we are going to basically just make a line. Because if x is greater than negative infinity and less than positive infinity, that's every number in between there. Okay, every number is included. All right, so set voter notation. You can do this 2 ways, but we can just copy it as we see it, like we've been doing. Your interval notation would be negative infinity to positive infinity, both parentheses. You can also write all real numbers here because every number that's a real number will fit there. But we won't get into that. Let's just keep it simple. All right, last one before you're on your own. Number 4, x does not equal 1. Okay, so I'm going to go to number 1, open circle. And because x is not 1, that number is not included, I'm going to draw arrows on both sides. That means I'm going from left to right. Whenever I get to 1, I skip over 1, so it's not included. Set voter notation. I have my braces, x such that, and I just copy over what I see. X is not equal to 1. And for my interval notation, if I'm turning from left to right, I'm coming from negative infinity. I get to the number 1. Is 1 going to be included? No, this doesn't equal 1, so that gets a parentheses. What about my negative infinity? Always, always parentheses. My graph does not stop there, so I put union, which means and I keep going from 1 to positive infinity. Both of them will get parentheses because that 1 is not included, so we don't have any brackets. So far, so good? All right, so Jen and Bianca, you guys can go ahead and get ready to go. Everyone else,